What does Zyn really give you? Not just smoke-free nicotine satisfaction, but also real freedom to do more of what you love, when and where you want to do it. Why bring Zyn along for the ride? Because America's #1 nicotine pouch opens up all the possibilities of right now. With Zyn, you don't just find freedom, you keep finding it. Find your Zyn. Learn more at Zyn.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Now's a good time to remember where tequila's story truly began. In 1795, Cuervo invented tequila.
Cuervo.
What are you doing here?
Cuervo. Anytime someone says Cuervo, I show up.
Well, I do know that to be true, but even during ad reads, like...
Cuervo.
I think you could lay out, especially for one of our great partners.
Sweet, delicious Cuervo.
Since then, Cuervo has stayed true to its roots. The same family, the same land, the same passion.
Cuervo.
So, enjoy the tequila that started it all. Cuervo.
Cuervo.
The tequila that invented tequila. Proximo. Cuervo.com. Please drink responsibly.
Cuervo.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
As a man with a New York Knicks jersey tries and fails to replace Backroad Jess, there was a voice missed yesterday on the show deeply because this clown car needed somebody to make fun of this show pivoting to becoming Knicks fans, and thankfully Jessica has made herself available. If you heard any of this, I cannot imagine how much you were biting your own face wanting to yell at all of us in terrible disgust.
Yesterday was really embarrassing, Dan, for the show, for Mike, for you, for everyone. I was listening to, first of all, Mike has been sending me these like Knicks texts cheering on the Knicks for the last 4 days now. So I don't know when this started, but I do not like it. I know you tried to explain it as oh, we're not Knicks fans. We're just rooting against Boston. That's not really what it sounded like to me. So with some help from some of our friends, I have a top 5 list for today's show of people who are allowed to celebrate a Knicks playoff run. And I'm hoping that you will realize that none of you are on this list and you will stop debasing yourselves.
Do you have any other commentary on yesterday that is missed before we get to that list? Because I imagine there's a lot left unsaid. I was searching for your voice somewhere in our fake fandom.
You were very mean to Chris, I would say.
Another text I got.
Yeah, Chris was like, what do you want to talk about tomorrow? And I was like, the Knicks stuff, obviously. And then later in Invisible Ink, also Dan was really mean to you.
I lashed out. I'm sorry, Chris.
You got condolence text yesterday?
Yes,
You're still with
multiple.
us.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just return my calls, please.
I don't understand Invisible Ink text messages. What's it for?
It's for when you're saying something and you're like, ooh, if someone's reading this over this person's shoulder, they have a way to make sure that no one sees it. So they're like, ooh, this is something spicy. Let me wait till I'm somewhere where I can press down and read it and be like, ooh, okay, yeah, I don't want anyone else to see this.
Say something, I mean it. Whatever.
Well, okay. I would also like to add, this isn't from yesterday's show, but Amin's shrimp in a cake analogy, one of the greatest, I think, of all time in the history of the show in describing some of Dan's requests. Very good analogy, Amin.
From one Knicks fan to another. Thank you.
I'm not even a Knicks fan, okay?
Yes,
I'm not on this list.
You're here now. We're here now. Everything
honestly, I have very mixed feelings about this Knicks run because, yes, obviously I want my boyfriend to be happy, whatever. But he started this annoying bit where he jumps in the pool every time the Knicks win. And, it's just, why are you jumping in the pool?
He does that, too?
It's our thing. It's kind of our thing.
I've done that once. I can't wait to tell you guys the story. One time in my life.
Were you okay? Can you tell us the story?
Yeah, tell us the damn story. Come on,
now. Suspense is killing us.
Now that's the actual perfect time to tell your story.
After a Knicks game?
When we're talking about jumping into a pool.
Was it celebratory?
I didn't want to interrupt what she was saying, and I interrupted what she was saying.
But you did, and then you left us with a cliffhanger.
All right. So what was the team? Oh, the Patriots. They were going to go undefeated. If indeed they went undefeated, I had to do some horrible thing where I talked to each of the 1972 Dolphins and wrote a column column about each of them. And so when the Giants beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, preventing another team from being undefeated, I joyously threw my hat in the air and jumped into a swimming pool. It was just joy because I didn't have to do a ton of work.
Okay, good story.
Not worth interrupting you, though. I regretted it as soon as I said it.
You did say you can't wait till I tell this story.
You guys are.
It would have been worse if you teased it out for 3 hours and then told us that story. So I'm glad we just got it out of the way.
There you go. Always producing.
Okay, OLI. This is, again, the list of people who can celebrate a Knicks playoff run. At one point in your fandom, Pablo Prigioni was legitimately the best option you had at point guard.
That's a tough name. Yeah, that's a...
Prigioni, real Knicks fans know like us.
Taking your cookies.
Again, I'm not included in this list. I have another OLI, though. A glimpse of a photo of Rick Smith's stupid face will send you into a frothing fit of PTSD-fueled rage.
Bing bong.
I hate that light bulb head he had when he shaved his head.
Hate him.
There's a separate list of stupid faces, but we can get to that later. Now we're on to number 5. You had a Langston Galloway jersey.
Bing bong.
Wow.
I miss the fanfare. I hate this bing bong,
Bing
whatever.
bong.
It just doesn't feel as good as getting fanfare.
I'll give you fanfare if you want it.
Thank you, Chris. God. Number 4. You have a memory of Alexei Shved running a pick and roll at the Mecca of basketball.
Shved.
The pride and joy of Cheska Moscow.
The fanfare helps.
Shved. This is number 3 now. You had arguments that nearly ended friendships over the inclusion of Timofey Mozgov in the deal for Carmelo Anthony.
Gave up too much.
Still a mistake. He was going to come in free agency anyway. They had the cap space. They didn't need to do all that.
Bing bong.
And you've had arguments about it, Amin. I can tell.
Yes.
Knicks fan. Number 2. You have personally sat and commiserated with Bobby Bacala from The Sopranos on the state of the franchise at the Old Paris Cafe. That one feels very specific. Yeah. And finally, number 1. You remember where you were when Andrea Bargnani tried to dunk from the foul line.
Oh, what a time that was.
Bing bong.
I think he hurt himself. It was not a good situation.
What a horrific stretch of a generational Knick basketball for those to be the arguments.
Bing bong.
What about when Mario Hezonja dunked on Giannis Antetokounmpo? That was a time.
I thought he was going to be good.
Make your own list. Also, I'm happy for the Knicks. I love Timothy. I heard the other day someone call him the patron saint of city kids. I mean, I don't know if you can I don't know if you agree with that. That's a big praise to give Timothy. But I'm happy for the Knicks. I think if they do end up winning the series, and I don't see the Celtics winning 3 in a row, I guess I do kind of see it because all the things I just said in the list could happen to the Knicks again. But the Pacers, if the Pacers and the Knicks play in the next series and Reggie Miller and Kevin Harlan are on the call, that would be a bad time for Knicks fans, I think. So there may be still a lot of pain ahead.
Well, Jessica, first off, I don't know why you said if the Pacers and the Knicks play in the next round. It's not like the Celtics are coming back.
Because I gave the caveat, something really bad could still happen to the Knicks. There's 3. I think Knicks fans all have PTSD, right? I also say all of this with the caveat that I know the fans are sick of Knicks talk. So I'm sorry, everyone.
Also, Jessica, I want to apologize to you because you said Timothy is the patron saint of city kids, and I thought you meant Timofey Mozgov. And I was kind of confused, but I was like, I'm going to yes and. Yeah, sure, I can see there are a lot of Russians in the city. And I was like, why is she going on this Mozgov tangent? And then it hit me like, oh, she means Chalamet.
Yeah. Sorry.
You described him as a patron saint, and I believe in the past you've been described as unapologetically Catholic. How do you feel about a Chicago Pope?
Billy, the quote from Dan was Catholic to my core.
Oh.
Chicago Pope was probably the most memorable day of my entire life. Just all of it. The memes, the jokes, the disbelief, the informing Chicago people. Why is David Sampson wearing a Pope? Oh, because he's in charge of Meadowlark now? I get it.
Pope,
no, he wants to be Pope of Meadowlark. We can't let him do it.
Well, it's an election. We got to see what the smoke says.
Are we?
We should do it. We should do that. I mean, that's a good idea. The College of Meadowlarks, like where the birds, where cardinals, get it? Because they're birds. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
Workshop that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to have Stugotz host a conclave, but he's a con man.
Are we ready for an American Pope? Because as soon as like he was named Pope, I saw what happened was they're like, let's find out what his brother was up to on Facebook. And I was like, I don't know if we should have a Pope from America.
Yeah. Have you met us? I was shocked when I heard the news, and I told my parents, and I'm staying with my parents right now because we haven't moved into our apartment yet in New York, but my parents were like, he's not American. They wouldn't elect an American Pope. And I'm like, he's actually from Chicago too. And they're like, no, he's not. But they did say when they announced he was the new Pope, he's the least American, which is kind of a hilarious way to insult the rest of Americans. But yes, there he is at the World Series game at Kaminsky Park.
Wait, which one is he?
The one on the phone, he's calling in to God and saying, please, this is going to be the only moment of joy this fan base feels for my entire life. Please let the White Sox win this game.
This is going to sound dumb, but somehow a Pope using a cell phone is such a mind F for me right now. Like, what? The Pope had a cell phone? What year are we in?
2005.
The Buck Rogers future is where we're at.
Kelsey Grammer doesn't feel American, even though he is.
What?
Do you remember when he fell off the stage at that one event and just like ate shit? That was a funny YouTube video
He's had
back
a
in the
hard
day.
life.
It was like the grape stomping lady, but it was Kelsey Grammer.
Oh, the grape stomping.
It's just I don't understand where the accent came from.
What does he feel like to you?
He
That's like
feels
Johnny Depp.
British.
He's from Broward, but he
feels like-
pretends he's French or whatever.
Yeah,
Get out of
kinda-
here, Johnny Depp, please.
Kind of feels like British.
Him
Oh,
and,
but-
and Nigel from the show. I don't know his real name.
David Hyde Pierce.
Oh, yeah, him.
Wow, I've got like a depth of Frasier knowledge.
Wow, what's the name of the dog?
You got me.
Okay.
I guess I'm not. My bag
Isn't it
isn't as
Frank?
deep.
Oh, is that their dad? Someone's named Frank.
The dad
Frank
was Frank.
Frazier.
The dad. By the way, that's probably what Kelsey Grammer's dad is like, right? Like just like an all-American guy, and then he's got a son who talks like this.
Billy,
Yes.
Billy, can you help me with why it is that that you're Pope obsessed?
Why am I Pope obsessed? How am I Pope obsessed? I was trying to come out here and give you guys all of the news while the papal conclave was going on. It was a big story in the world, so I was letting you guys know. And Jess is, unapologetically Catholic, as we've discussed, and also she's, when you think of Jess, you think Chicago and New York and South Bend and Pittsburgh. And just a number of different places, but Chicago's one of them. So I thought maybe she crossed paths with, the Pope in Chicago or something at some point.
Billy,
I don't know.
I never crossed paths with the Pope prior to him becoming the Pope. However, he was born at the hospital my grandpa worked at. My
What?
grandpa was a chemist. Yeah, so maybe their paths crossed, which is crazy to think because when you grow up Catholic, there's one thing really that you're sure of. And well, two things. One, that you should feel guilty all the time. And two, that the Pope is never going to be from America. And he's certainly not going to be from Chicago, of all places. I am glad he's from Chicago, though, because imagine how annoying like Philadelphia fans would be if he was from Philly, or like Boston people. Like at least Chicago, we can make funny like hot dog jokes and Malort jokes.
What does a chemist do in the hospital?
We're very
Like,
confused
was it
by
like
this.
the 1900s?
I did not know that they housed them in the
1918s?
hospital.
We're having an argument right here that what does a chemist do in a hospital that's different from what a pharmacist would do in a hospital?
Because then he's not a chemist; he's a pharmacist.
Yeah.
All I know about my grandpa's chemistry career was that at one point he was a chemist in a lab working down the hall from where LSD was first invented.
Yeah, your grandfather
no, so he was
invented
smoking
LSD.
Yeah.
Your grandfather's
No,
a bad guy.
that's what it is.
I
Yeah,
think it's fair to
drug,
say.
Breaking Bad.
drug dealer.
Yeah. Your grandpa sucks.
At Lebitard Show, does Jessica's grandpa suck? And at Lebitard Show, what the hell, Johnny Depp? Please get out of here, please. Like, why
This
are you
is the
doing that to-
grandpa. Sorry, Dan. This is also the grandpa who never gave my grandma roses that she was talking about in that one Flowers voicemail. So
Sounds like a bad guy.
We had no
He's making
greater failure around here than not yet turning your grandmother into a star. Like, do you guys have the sound? Because Grandma came in here, and she endured Grandpa. It sounded like.
well, I mean, I don't want to speak ill of my grandfather, but my grandma, she seems like a hoot, right? She seems like she thinks that a lot of things are funny and she's very humorous. Well, My sister sent our big family group chat last Thursday when the Pope was announced an Onion article about like the Vatican elects first Chicago-style Pope, and it was a Photoshop of the Pope in a bun with, you know, tomatoes and sport peppers and whatever relish, like he was a Chicago-style hot dog. And my grandma just responded to the whole group, like our entire like 35-person group chat, not funny.
Oh,
Yikes.
wow. She didn't take kindly to the Chicago jokes, huh?
Holy crap. She did not like the Pope jokes. I don't think it was.
Oh.
Well, although that's a good question. Maybe she was offended on behalf of the hot dog, not the Pope. I'll have to follow up on that.
You guys remember when the Pope's like official Instagram account was liking thirst traps like a couple years ago?
That's why you had to get rid of the last one.
Yeah, you never.
Are you sure you're not confusing him with Ted Cruz?
No, it was a thing that happened. It was like a big story. The Pope likes like Instagram models thirst traps. Speaking of thirst traps, Dan, I don't know if you saw this. Have you ever heard of Yellowstone National Park?
Yes, Billy.
Well, Yellowstone National Park, apparently they're losing funding, and they've resorted to, and I was talking to Jess about this beforehand. Yeah, apparently they're losing funding, and they've resorted to posting thirst traps on TikTok, hoping that they go viral, and then they can raise funds for their national parks through the help of hunky men.
Oh, I thought you meant thirst traps of like the animals. Like it would be like Yogi Bear.
No, that's like something Ron
poking
pays
it out.
for.
Like Bear Week.
Yeah, a thirst trap there would be like a geyser, like a hot spring, because like, oh, there's some water, but it's a trap because it sprays you in the face with water that'll melt your face off. Also, one thing that I don't like about Instagram is like I followed you for science reasons.
Me?
And no, like no, like certain accounts. Like I was following like a Curb Your Enthusiasm account, and then all of a sudden it's like softcore porn.
It's just porn.
And then I was like, alcohol facts. That seems like a fun follow. And for
Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
all of a sudden, jugs.
What are you talking about?
That doesn't happen to you? Like
Happens
where,
all the time.
where IG accounts like change, like they sell, and all of a sudden there's like a butthole
Is this
like
a Whitlock
on your
situation?
feed. No. They
meme
switch.
accounts sometimes change themes.
Yeah.
No, but they don't change the title. Like so, the Curb one I follow too, and it was like it's always these clips from Curb, and like, haha, remember when Larry did this? Remember when Larry did that? And all of a sudden, there's like a school teacher, and it's like boing, everything pops out. Like, what the hell's going on
I'm trying to
here?
check my phone here in public, and you got like there's a butthole,
and
there's
it shoots
a butthole.
Shoots to the top of my feed. It's not even me scrolling.
No,
it's like,
it's
I
swear to God, I
just
didn't do
open
this.
Instagram.
I don't do this. I don't like. You can do my Discover page.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like-
don't do mine.
I like that, Mike. This is smart of you to get ahead of whatever your wife is going to find later on your phone. This is actually
I'm
really
telling-
good.
this is
You're
a
putting this
thing.
out publicly now, and this is the explanation. And it's a smart move.
I mean, I granted my ally is a meme, but this happens all the time.
Well,
Like,
he has to zoom in to make sure if it's science or not. Like it's a whole thing.
Wild Billy Wednesday. I'm going to go take a victory lap on something. I'm going to leave this to you
Not
guys.
the Thunder, I hope. You don't deserve a victory lap.
You turn
You
your
know what?
ankle, and then you never return.
This is what we need. Dan, I'm gonna tell you, we don't need a victory lap for you. We need a loser's lap. You got to do a loser lap in there.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Careful, you hurt your ankle yesterday.
Yes, I did. But I have I have something that I feel like I can be victorious on. I will leave you to your own devices for a moment.
Don't take it personally, Jess, that he's leaving as soon as you're back. Yeah.
My grandma will be thrilled.
It's not you.
She doesn't like Dan that much when she listens to the show.
Jessica, holy shit.
Okay, so I thought I was good with money. Turns out I was really good at ignoring it. Like, how am I spending this much on delivery or Uber? Or that one shoe store that I buy too many shoes from. Then I started using Monarch Money, and dude, it's a financial wake-up call. Monarch's not just some budgeting app. It's basically your money command center. Puts everything, accounts, credit cards, investments, into one place so you're not guessing anymore. And listen, I found stuff I didn't even know I was paying for. Since I started using Monarch, I'm tracking my spending, actually saving, and yeah, even having money check-ins with my wife, and we're looking at each other and we're like, yeah, okay, we're all good. It makes the hard stuff way easier, and over 1 million households use Monarch. It was named the best budgeting app of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal. So it's not just me hyping up, it's legit. It's real. Real deal Holyfield, and get control of all of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code Dan at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code Dan.
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is sponsored by BetterHelp. Mental health awareness is growing, and that's a good thing, but there's still work to do. In a recent survey, 26% of Americans said they've avoided seeking support out of fear of being judged. And that hesitation, it doesn't just affect the individual. It ripples out to families, workplaces, entire communities. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. Let's break the stigma together. Because when people are healthy and happy, we all thrive. Therapy isn't just for major trauma. It can help with setting boundaries, learning positive coping skills, and simply becoming the best version of you. BetterHelp has over a decade of experience connecting people with licensed therapists who fit their needs. With over 30,000 professionals and 5 million users worldwide, it's therapy that fits your life. It's completely online, flexible, and you can switch therapists at any time at no extra cost. We're all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/DLB to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DLB.
All right, so here's something interesting. Did you know that sleep actually is really important to recovery? I mean, who knew, right? And everyone needs something different from their bed, which is why Sleep Number makes these smart beds that let you adjust each side to the firmness you want. Kind of perfect for couples that can't agree on anything. They've even partnered with the NFL since 2018, and 80% of NFL players sleep on a Sleep Number smart bed. So yeah, there's a reason these things are popular. They've got beds that cool you down, up to 15 degrees cooler on either side, to help you sleep better, especially if you're someone who wakes up sweating like you just ran wind sprints in your dreams. The bed also responds to your movements and adjusts as you sleep, which is wild. Why choose Sleep Number Smart Bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. And now, it's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, limited time, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
Don Le Batard.
I don't think I ever got that many roses in my whole life.
Stugotz.
Certainly not from your lovely grandfather, God may his soul rest in peace.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Why are you afraid of mercury poisoning?
Me?
Yeah.
Because Billy, Lehman's been out of town the last few days, and when you start dating someone who knows how to cook, you realize, A, I just don't cook anymore, but then when they go out of town, you realize like, ooh, I don't know what I'm gonna eat. And I know basically how to cook like 2 things. And so for the last 6 days, I've just been eating cans of tuna. And I'm starting to wonder at what point I should be concerned, because apparently there's mercury in cans of tuna. And it takes a long time for your body to process out mercury.
Yeah, you're dead.
So how much tuna reasonably can I eat?
Jessica,
can I eat it every day?
I think I gave you too much credit because I thought the story was going, Lehman's out of town, so me and my best friend Priya have been going out and eating sushi every night in the fanciest places. And I'm like, wow, you got to watch out for mercury poisoning from all that sushi. And instead it's like, no, I'm eating cans of tuna like a bachelor, like a sad bachelor.
I mean, it's so gross. I put like plain tuna on a piece of toast with like a little squirt of mayonnaise, and that's my lunch. Also, have you guys noticed this protein trend that like, everything has like added protein in it now? That can't be healthy, right? Protein? You don't need 100 grams of protein every day. You need like what, like 20, 25?
If you take like 40, so like I'm big into fitness now, and that's also my algo until it turns into jugs.
Porn, yeah,
but like if you have like 40 grams of protein right before bed, it can increase your muscle mass.
I saw that.
Yeah, like
is that true?
40 grams.
And also cold plunges are bad for you, which is what I've always maintained. Like there's no way the cold plunge craze is actually good for you.
What?
No, it reduces muscle mass.
Well, no, what the cold plunge is all about, it's all about like extracting the lactic acid from your muscles, right? You're going hot, cold,
and I thought it helped with circulation.
No, it's all bad for you.
I thought it was good for your vagus nerve. Yeah, I feel like the cold plunge is like tuna in that it's probably okay in moderation, but I'm wondering what is moderation for me. Like I'm not that big of a person. I'm about 6'1", 125. How much tuna reasonably can I eat in a week, and how often should I be cold plunging? Because it's probably fine a little bit.
So the FDA recommends that adults eat up to 12 ounces of canned light tuna per week.
Wow, 12 ounces a week? Wait, how much comes in a can?
Not a lot. I would say probably less than that. But not much.
You worried about like microplastics and like.
Got to be
I don't have balls.
Yeah, they're going to go.
I thought the microplastics were in the balls.
No, they were found in the balls too, but I'm sure they're found all over the body. That's
wait, I thought you meant the microplastics came in little balls, not they were literally found in the balls.
No, I'm not.
I think
sure
it's both.
Like.
Yeah.
So wait, if they're in the balls, how do they get out?
Apple pectin.
Huh?
Do apple pectin. I'm telling you. Apple a day.
Apple peg what?
Do you eat a whole can of tuna? They're 5 ounces.
And it's not enough.
Ounces.
I would eat 2 cans if I was not worried about mercury
That's
poisoning.
like your weekly serving. If it's 12 ounces, a can's like 5 ounces.
A week?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you're dead. Sorry. It's nice knowing you. Bad news, Hank Azaria is not going to your funeral. Can Hank Azaria cheer for the Knicks?
I think he probably fits one of those criteria. Mike doesn't. That list was for Mike.
No. I get to be a Knicks guy for this round. I do.
No.
I'm as passionate as anybody you know about the Knicks for this round.
I mean, only in the way that you're passionate about like things where you sort of like swoop into a thing and then you really, really like it for like a week.
Like stocks.
Oh, that was fine.
Like brain pills or whatever thing you were on.
Yeah,
exactly.
I switched to Elite Brain and I'm out, but I'm still doing the Lion's Mane.
Didn't you have an Opie topic?
Yeah, how's that top shot doing?
NFTs, that's
way
another
back.
one.
That's still there for you.
Big time Knicks fan.
Jess, I really...
It should be at a peak right now, right? They're in the conference finals.
Sell.
Yeah, it's business isn't exactly booming there.
Why?
Jess, I've actually really missed you this week because Miami got the number 1 recruit in the nation.
Oh.
And I learned on social media that Miami has more money than both Oregon and Georgia combined. Why is this narrative perpetuated by schools that lose recruiting battles? Because Miami is a school that is private with a student body of like 18,000 with one of the worst broadcast sports deals ever. But anytime a recruit goes to Miami, it's always because they have more money than, Georgia.
Mike, you need to stop being triggered by people on the internet. That's my
It's the programs.
Well, just be happy. You got the number 1 recruit in the country. Like, woohoo, yay, Miami.
Well, I did have the number 1 recruit in the country, and upon committing to Miami, he already slid like 4 spots, which is also something that happens. But
that does happen all the time. Yes,
I just get really bothered by all these other schools putting this out there, like, oh, we didn't lose this recruiting battle because Alex Mirabal is really good at developing offensive linemen. It's because Miami has more money than us. Who believes this? Why do people perpetuate this? Why is there this narrative that Miami and their shitty broadcast deal have more money than Phil Knight? It makes no sense.
Wait.
And probably because Carson Beck is driving like several stolen Lamborghinis, or not that he stole, but I know, and he got them at Georgia. Mike, just call them poor and move on. I don't know. You missed me so that you could find an entryway to talk about Miami to then make me upset. Okay, I got it.
Yes, that's our dynamic, Jess. That's what I miss about us.
I also want to point out that last night, maybe I'm revealing confidences here, but Mike proudly said that the U is going to whoop up on Notre Dame this year.
Yeah, we're going to kick their ass.
Wow.
Like he said it with lots of confidence.
They would replace their defensive line with guys that took a break from football and are recovering from knee injuries. Like
I think Dan's ready, guys.
Who? Jason Onye and Gabe Rubio?
Just running.
I think Miami's got to beat that ass.
He's not running hard enough.
He's there for a second, then Izzy was there.
It's May. I guess this is all you have in college football right now.
You got to run harder. Run harder, Dan. I want you out of breath.
You see what's happening as soon as I leave the room? Mike goes...
He is out of breath. Wow.
Mike goes right to the UM talk as soon as I leave the room.
Tried to tell you not to leave the room, pal.
Okay. Well, what's happening right now seems unfair to me because you guys say this is a loser lap and not a victory lap.
Are you in a church?
I think they were just saying that because you're doing it, which is not nice.
Okay, so
Zaz
you guys
said it.
You guys tell me then. You make a ruling here whether I'm right or wrong, and I'm sorry. I've been running so long that my pants are beginning to fall. So
not a lot of people run while holding their glasses like that.
Well, I've been running for about 9 minutes here, nonstop, and that's
about time.
Yeah, that's the way we're supposed to do this. And
so you've gone about a quarter of a mile.
And my pants are falling, so there's the chance that the belt isn't going to hold up throughout the rest of this. But you tell me whether I'm right or wrong, okay?
On this bit, or
not on the bit? On what the question I'm about to ask.
Okay.
And the question is, are you indeed unapologetically Catholic if your grandma doesn't allow Pope jokes?
Wait, no.
Huh?
Wait, yes.
I think her grandma
that's the definition of unapologetic Catholic.
So Jess is unapologetically Catholic then, right?
I was like raised Catholic. I don't go to church anymore.
Don't apologize, Jess. You're unapologetic.
Are you apologetically Catholic? Is that what's happening?
Don't apologize.
I think you've apologized for the Catholic Church plenty.
Also,
I don't think I need to.
Also, isn't apologizing the biggest thing a Catholic
you got
to
to
do?
apologize for the Catholic Church.
She
you
can't.
have to.
She's unapologetic.
You must.
I don't. Okay, I don't want to get into.
Dan, you can't eat more than 3 cans of tuna a week. We discovered while you were out. It's too much. Mercury poisoning.
Well, Dan can't eat tuna anyway.
You know the International Church of Satan has zero sexual assault allegations on record?
Good job, Mike.
What? Dan, I thought about you the other day because I saw that one of your favorite tequilas is being sued in a class action lawsuit for using artificial things that I don't think would be good for you.
I don't think this topic would be good for us either.
I don't think so either. Wild Billy Wednesday.
It's not one of our sponsors.
Well, Dan's favorite tequila is Cuervo, and Cuervo's not in any lawsuits. So what are you talking about, Billy Go? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Not his favorite.
I don't like additives. Additives are bad.
Also, Dan, it was Catholic to my core, not unapologetic.
Okay, but so
Catholic.
are you Catholic
So
to your
no.
core? Are you Catholic to your core? If your grandmother won't allow Pope jokes?
I would say she is definitely Catholic to her core and unapologetically Catholic. Yes.
Yeah, I think the grandma not allowing Pope jokes is the most Catholic thing you can be. So that would confirm that you like. Usually, when are you such and such if this happens, they have to be opposites, right? Like, are you Catholic to your core if you don't observe Lent? That's the way that setup kind of works. The way you're doing it is, are you Catholic to your core if this Catholic to your core thing is happening? Well, yeah, it is.
And the point is that I'm just right. That's the point. The point is just that I'm right.
Well, grandma, yeah.
Catholic to your core sounds like a workout routine run by
Pilates
like Catholic.
class.
Yeah, or like a thirst trap account of
And
Catholics.
it's like a shirtless dude, but he has the priest collar
exactly
on, right?
Catholic to his core.
Do
We're saving Yellowstone.
Do 10 reps of shame.
Rosary counts, right? Like right, doing like 1, 2, 3. I don't know how to
But
count.
it's
on
like
a
the
rosary.
chains, but it's rosary.
You say Hail Marys on the beads, and then I think you say the Our Father on the big beads. My
Hail
grandma
Mary.
does that on the plane every time she flies somewhere.
Does
it's
she?
very jarring. Yeah, and it makes everyone really anxious.
Yeah,
It's like,
because
why are
it's
you
like-
praying the rosary right now?
And what's he praying for?
Jess, can I ask you about yesterday's big NBA story? I argued that it was Jason Tatum. That was a massive story, but a lot of people picked, we put this on the poll, and it was Nico securing the number 1 pick. And this was
I do
great.
want to talk about this. Yes, tell me what you think.
This was, well, my whole takeaway is I don't know why the NBA keeps doing this with this lottery, because their whole argument for it is to prevent tanking. It doesn't do that. And all it leaves them with, granted, there's theater, and they probably love the attention that it got yesterday, but you have something that doesn't stop what it's designed to stop, and it just leaves a whole bunch of NBA fans saying this is rigged. So I'm very confused as to what the benefits are of this thing.
I'm sort of confused about what So I was one of those people that when I found out the Mavericks won, I was like, it's rigged. And then I thought about it and I was like, but why? So I'm sort of confused now what the argument is for why the NBA would rig it so that the Mavericks would get the number 1
Because
pick.
apparently if you help Los Angeles,
Chris Paul,
you get rewarded.
Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic.
So they just decided though, like in the last few weeks when the Mavericks became eligible to be in the lottery and have, I guess, like that. When did they decide to do this?
Yeah, I mean, doesn't matter. They could have decided the morning of. Like they decided to rig it.
It does matter because it's a bad conspiracy theory because I don't understand it.
Right. That's precisely all conspiracy theories that gain traction, apparently. Like, yeah, they tend to defy logic.
Look, I don't want to divert audiences elsewhere, but if you want to do conspiracy theory talk, Basketball Illuminati has you covered. We covered this exhaustively, and it's not the lazy, it's because they traded Luka. Like, we've got math involved. We've got numbers. You don't want to miss a thrilling new episode of Basketball Illuminati wherever you get podcasts.
I mean, I do want to get into it, though, because I was listening to Tom on Bomani's podcast earlier, and also I was listening to, he had Zach Lowe on also, and Zach Lowe was talking about sort of the injury stuff in the NBA. Like it's almost a certainty that you're going to have some sort of injury like this now. And there's a number of reasons why perhaps that's the case. And maybe it comes back to workload and youth sports especially. And I think that that's really interesting too. But back to, your point. So can you just sort of break down the actual conspiracy and why it would make any sense for the NBA to rig the draft lottery for Dallas?
Well, this is the easy explanation why it's not rigged, right? Is
prison.
Yes, that's why. They're in where the lottery happens in a back room, right? Like what we see on TV, that's not the lottery. That's the lottery results that they create a TV show around, right? The actual lottery happens in a back room, and there's a representative from every team that's in the lottery. There's Ernst & Young who are doing the accounting, and then there's NBA security, and then there are also media members there.
It's like a half dozen journalists.
Yeah, like Ben Golliver, for instance,
people
is
like
always
me,
back there. Yeah. Well, not people like you, actual journalists. So anyways.
Right, and Golliver also wrote in his story, he had a quote from a Mavs executive who was like, I can't believe that this happened. Like, I've been working on the draft lottery in this process and been dealing with conspiracy theories my whole career. And now, like, basically there's the subject of one. But go on, Amin.
One of the prevailing theories, Amin, is you have a brand new owner that just paid $3.5 billion for this franchise and immediately nuked it as one of the first actions of their ownership reign. So it's kind of like a make good.
Well, see, okay, so by the way, the exec you're talking about is Rick Welts. Rick Welts, I work with him in Phoenix. Rick Welts is the guy that invented All-Star Weekend. Rick Welts was instrumental in the invention of USA Basketball. He was supposed to be, at one point, they were saying he was going to be the next commissioner of the NBA. So shout out to Rick Welts. But yeah, he's someone who's had to deal with conspiracy theories when he worked in the NBA all the time, and now he's on the opposite end of it. But to finish what I was saying about that room, like I said, the people were in there, and then the way it works is there are 1,001 different combinations. 1,001. So when they say someone has a 14% chance, really what they mean is there are 140 different combinations that are pre-assigned, right? And then you just wait and see what balls come up. We've had years where people have, I believe there's a year where the Spurs kept winning it, right? Like they won the top 3 picks.
Because they draw number 1 first.
Yes.
They should be allowed to do that, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. You get all
Just
the
have the lottery be like all one team.
I'm on the Ernst & Young Wikipedia page, and there's an entire section dedicated to accounting scandals, audit practices, exam cheating by audit professionals, investment banking, sexist training program.
You don't think they're risking their firm over Cooper Flag?
I'm saying it seems as though this firm has a sordid history in which it seems as though in the past there's been malfeasances.
Yeah, I would say that this is one of their higher profile accounts, and I'd say that they would risk it for that, given that they have this in their past. Like,
and I would say I'm still waiting for an explanation why this would be worth rigging for the Mavericks. Please, Amin.
The reality is, this is like when people say, oh, the only reason why X team won was because everyone got injured. You should put an asterisk on it. And the reality is, when you go through the history of the NBA, every champion has an asterisk. Same thing here. Any team that would have won, we would have been like, oh, of course. If San Antonio had won, we would be like, oh, of course. They always win it. If Philly had won, like, oh, of course. They're trying to like get them because of
there was a moment where the top 4 teams that were vying for the number 1 overall pick, everybody outside of Charlotte, I was like, this is rigged.
Right. 3 of the 4 were like interesting scenarios.
Yeah, it was like San Antonio, that's rigged. Philly, definitely rigged. And then it went to like one of the most rigged options.
Rigged.
I mean, if the NBA wanted to interfere with Dallas, wouldn't they just try to interfere to get Nico fired because he's a bad executive? And that
is he? He just got them the number 1 overall pick. What are you doing?
He didn't do anything.
Yes,
to
he did.
Yes, he did. He's traded a superstar to LA. That's how you do it.
He agreed to follow the league's. He agreed to follow the league's orders to send Luka to LA.
Called one team.
See, now you've lost me again. It's the best conspiracies are the simplest, have the simplest premise, I think. This one is a little too convoluted for me.
Well, didn't you see the video of Adam Silver at Duke, and one of the graduates yelled at him, Adam, help out my Mavs. We're going through it right now. And he looked at him and he smiled and kept walking. I mean, smoking gun?
Then he winked and like pointed at him, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like how LeBron, remember when he was on McAfee, and LeBron
Billy Wednesday.
LeBron continues insinuating, that the draft is rigged. And LeBron, Amin just explained, there's 1,001 different combinations. They draw 4 balls that all have numbers on it. And whatever that combination is, you look at a big booklet, I got it, bingo. And LeBron on McAfee talking about how the draft lotteries are, when the ball pops out and says Cleveland, no clue how it works.
Zaz, this is the plight of so many NBA players that they don't know shit about how this league works.
They know
not how the salary cap works, not how trades work, not how the draft lottery works, not how polls work, not how awards work, right? They don't know shit. Like LeBron, I guarantee you, when he was like shitting on all the guys who said, this guy was overrated. He thought probably fans voted that. He didn't even realize it was players. By the way, Rachel Nichols did the math.
No, definitely media people, because media people are lame.
Right.
It's the media that voted
But
overrated.
this is my favorite thing. Rachel Nichols did the math. It was like what the percentage of people who said Tyrese Halliburton was overrated, and then how many players responded in the poll.
Yeah.
Comes out to 13 guys.
in the whole league.
13 NBA players said he was overrated. That's what we've been running with this whole time.
And one of them was definitely LeBron.
One of them absolutely was LeBron. Jessica, come on. Come on. Like, I'm just trying to figure out who did this, right? Him in the hot dog costume right there.
Okay, Amin, I do want to ask you another question, though. How screwed are the Celtics moving forward? Because I know, they obviously still have a lot of talent left on that team, but with the new CBA and Tatum being out probably for all of next season, if I had to guess, he's obviously still really young. Like, what do you expect them to do now?
So they already, before the injury, were dealing with, what are they going to do? Because the money is incredibly high, and then they got new ownership, right? So those things are already coming in. Now you got Tatum is out. Tatum's going to be out for an entire year. This is the recovery time for a ruptured Achilles. So how good are they going to be as is? I guess we'll get a taste of that tonight. We'll see what it looks like when Tatum isn't out there. But there was already whispers that they're going to have to start making some moves. Maybe those whispers turn into yells and screams.
All right, so here's something interesting. Did you know that sleep actually is really important to recovery? I mean, who knew, right? And everyone needs something different from their bed, which is why Sleep Number makes these smart beds that let you adjust each side to the firmness you want. Kind of perfect for couples that can't agree on anything. They've even partnered with the NFL since 2018, and 80% of NFL players sleep on a Sleep Number smart bed. So yeah, there's a reason these things are popular. They've got beds that cool you down, up to 15 degrees cooler on either side, to help you sleep better, especially if you're someone who wakes up sweating like you just ran wind sprints in your dreams. The bed also responds to your movements and adjusts as you sleep, which is wild. Why choose Sleep Number Smart Bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. And now, it's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, limited time, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Ryan. You know I'm a race fan. You know I travel to races, and I had a great experience a couple of weeks ago sitting outside the RV, toasting the good times with Miller Lights in hand with some of my best buddies. It was truly a memory that I'll remember forever, and truly a time that was made better by making that time a Miller time. Trust me when I say, there just isn't a better feeling than hanging out with your boys, clanging those beautiful white cans of Miller Lite, and realizing that you don't got to worry about the taste of your beer, because the taste of your beer is designed for people who love the taste of beer, a taste that you know you can depend on. A great beer trusted by beer lovers for 50 years. From game night to race night to parties with friends or a special anniversary, celebrating important occasions means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Cheers to 50 years of Miller Lite, the great-tasting light beer for people who love beer since 1975. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/stand to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.